In April 2026, Americans became more pessimistic about the economy than at almost any time in modern history. Consumer confidence just hit its lowest point ever recorded. And here's the thing that makes this really strange. There is no official recession. Unemployment is relatively low. The stock market is still near record highs. So why does it feel to so many Americans like something is deeply wrong? That's exactly what we're going to answer today. Let's get into it. Every month, the University of Michigan surveys thousands of Americans and asks them a simple question: how do you feel about the economy? The result is called the Consumer Sentiment Index. This April, that number came in at 49.8. That's a massive drop from 53.3 just 1 month earlier. To put that in context, above 90 means people feel genuinely confident and optimistic. Around 70 is neutral, things feel okay, not great. Below 60 signals stress and worry. Below 50 is crisis-level territory, the kind of numbers you see when things feel truly broken. The April 2026 reading of 49.8 is the lowest ever recorded since the survey began. The single biggest trigger of such a lowest level of consumer confidence was a military conflict, the US-Israel war with Iran, which began in late February 2026. And the reason it hit consumers so hard comes down to one geographic bottleneck: the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is the passage through which roughly 20% of the world's oil supply flows every single day. When the war broke out, that strait was effectively blocked. The International Energy Agency called it the largest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. This resulted in the more than 45% increase in Brent crude from the moment the war began. At one point, prices briefly approached $120 a barrel. And Americans felt it at the gas pump. By late March, the national average for a gallon of regular gasoline crossed $4 per gallon for the first time since 2022. The AAA tracked the national average at $4.06 a gallon, and in some regions, it was considerably higher. The next major trigger of lowest consumer confidence is the inflation expectations. It's not just about what prices are right now. It's about what people expect prices to be in the future. In the University of Michigan's April survey, one-year inflation expectations jumped from 3.8% in March to 4.8% in April. That was the largest single-month jump since April 2025. Americans believe prices will be nearly 5% higher a year from now than they are today. And that belief alone changes behavior. Think about it from your own perspective. If you believed that your grocery bill, your rent, your car insurance were all going to be significantly more expensive in 12 months, what would you do? You'd probably cut back. Maybe delay a vacation. Hold off on buying a new car. Skip the home renovation. And when millions of people do this at the same time, it actually slows the economy down, which can cause the very economic problems people were afraid of. This is called unanchored inflation expectations, and central banks like the Federal Reserve consider it one of the most dangerous economic conditions. Not just because of what it does to prices, but because of what it does to people's decisions. Long-run inflation expectations also climbed to 3.5%, the highest reading since October 2025. That's a sign that people don't think this is a short-term blip. They're worried about the longer road ahead. The third major reason of falling U.S. consumer confidence is the global uncertainty. Because the Strait of Hormuz carries oil not just for America but for the entire world, Europe, Asia, Southeast Asia, the economic shockwave spread globally. In Europe, natural gas prices nearly doubled to over 60 euros per megawatt hour by mid-March because Qatar's liquefied natural gas exports were severely disrupted. The European Central Bank postponed planned interest rate cuts and raised its inflation forecasts. UK inflation is expected to breach 5% in 2026. For American consumers, this kind of global instability signals a fragile economic environment, where rising energy costs, persistent inflation, and geopolitical risks could quickly spill back into the US. Right now, the economy has not officially entered recession. GDP is still growing, though agencies project the Iran war could drag growth down by 0.3 percentage points this year, slowing the full-year forecast to 1.8%. So let's bring it all together. Go back through every major economic downturn of the last 50 years. The 1990 recession, the dot-com crash of 2001, the 2008 financial crisis, the COVID collapse of 2020. In almost every single case, consumer confidence dropped before the recession was officially declared. This is why economists treat this number so seriously. It's not just a mood survey. It's a preview. The official economic data still looks relatively intact. But confidence is crumbling. And here's the thing about confidence that makes it so powerful and so dangerous. You don't need to actually lose your job to stop spending. You just need to think you might. You don't need prices to actually become unaffordable. You just need to expect that they will. That shift in psychology is how economic downturns begin. The economy hasn't broken, but confidence has. And in economics, confidence is everything.